We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday night, the Codex Station's comic character of the week. I'm your host,
Yeah.
Sal the Slab Guy. Right over there is the Minister of Sinister, Chris. And then down below him is eating a nice steak and cheese sub, is it?
No.
And what is it? What do you got in there?
Delicious.
What's that?
Sausage.
Oh, okay. Not a meatball sub?
I don't like meatball subs.
Oh, wow.
He prefers his meat long and cylindrical instead of round.
I guess so. And wrapped too. So how you guys doing?
All right.
Hungry now.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Nice Thursday.
It is a beautiful day.
It is. Well, as you can see, folks, Uncle Gary will not be joining us tonight. The man is on a mystery tour, seeking out grails in all places in America. And I guess there's an IT convention somewhere that he's going to, that he's running.
I just talked to him yesterday, and he ran his first IT convention.
Nice
show.
Did he make everybody do push-ups? That's the question.
He had a talk. It was a 4-hour symposium on how to tag someone in a Facebook post.
Wow. And I guess it took him 3.5 hours to figure out how to launch Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep. That's our Gary. That's our Gary indeed. Yep. So tonight, folks, we're going to be covering the comic character Beta Ray Bill. So that should be a good show tonight for us. It's an awesome character. Dan's just nodding. Keep nodding, Dan. It's all good. Dan, nod if you agree.
I hate to be that guy again.
Be that guy again?
But I am not a fan of Beta Ray Bill.
That's all right. You don't have to be a fan to talk about him.
I see him as a horse-faced pretender to the crown.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
No, he's all right.
Yeah. So. Oh shit! Did I upload the intro? I did not. Hang on. I gotta upload the intro.
Dan, you look like that wasn't very good food.
No, it's fine.
You don't look like someone who enjoyed that at all.
Nope.
No, it was good.
Did you even taste it?
Yeah.
Crammed it in.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Oh.
There you go.
Woo.
There you go. All right, Dan, are you set?
That was hot. I can smell that over here. That was hot.
Yeah. He's in your basement, Dan. He's right next to you.
Hey, big boy. I'm in the Bears.
You're in the Bears?
I'm in the Bears.
Okay.
It's a big old bear.
Gotcha. All right, Dan, you ready? We'll kick off this show for real? All right, man. Let's make sure you stop eating before we dove in. All right, folks. Stick around about 10 seconds. Hey, Richard's here. All right, Richard, thank you for joining us tonight. Let's go ahead and kick off the show and start this guy off. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Codex Station's comic character of the week. Thank you, Richard. I like being, like that. What I was saying, I'm the best host. Didn't win the award, but I'll still take the appreciation. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. Right over there is Chris, the Minister of Sinister. Down below me is Dan. What is your quote from again? I didn't recognize this quote. What is that movie quote from?
The guest.
It says, "God bless this cocaine to give me the gas to beat this demon."
I have no idea where that was from.
Season 4, Episode 8 of The Righteous Gemstones, spoken by the amazing character Uncle Baby Billy.
Okay, very good. There's a reason why I didn't know that quote. I didn't watch the show. All right.
You should. It's fantastic.
All right. I'll put it on the list. Dan, why don't you go ahead and talk about this character we're going over tonight?
Yeah. I wish they'd be worth a lot of money now.
Chris, Richard said hi. You didn't even see it.
Chris, where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Chris is dead, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just go ahead and just take him off.
Are you pulling a Sonny?
He's pulling a Sonny.
No.
We can.
All right, well, yeah. Whoa, that was weird. All right, thanks everyone for joining us. Click like, click subscribe. Really helps us out.
Yep.
Share with anyone you think would be interested in this.
Absolutely.
If you're watching this when it's no longer live, drop some comments. Let us know what you think about this character. So, Beta Ray Bill first appeared in Thor 337 from November 1983, created by the great Walt Simonson. He first appeared in this book. See, and I got, as Gary says, I got a scribble on the bottom.
Nice.
Signed by Mr. Walt Simonson himself. Now, when he created him, the character originally was going to be named Beta Ray Jones, because Simonson said he just wanted a normal, like, everyday kind of name to contrast the facts that it's not a normal, everyday kind of character. And he ultimately settled on Bill, which I think is
it's perfect.
Is a much better name, yeah.
Yeah. It's full of Sonny. He didn't turn off his camera, so he pulled the hat.
I was still here. I was still within the room.
Yeah. Also, when Simonson created him, it was the first story that he did for introducing Beta Ray Bill was the first like multi-issue arc he had done for when he was working on Thor. And he said that he deliberately designed him. What's up, Mr. Keith?
Hey, Mr. Keith.
Hey, Mr. Keith. He said he deliberately designed him to look monstrous because he wanted people, when they saw him, to like think that this is a bad guy, and then as they're reading and they see, oh no, this is actually a good guy, a really good guy, that it would kind of subvert their expectations. And he said that he ultimately decided on Bill instead of Jones because there were already too many Joneses in the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
Beta Ray Bill is a character. He is from a race called an alien race called the Corbinites, and he was engineered by his people to become their protector. And how they did that was they transferred his soul into a enhanced cyborg body, so that he would be super powered and be able to protect them. Their galaxy had been destroyed, so they were people kind of on the run, trying to find a new home. And they also did a procedure with another Corbinite where they put their soul into the giant ship that Beta Ray Bill is friends with and travels around on, called Scuttlebutt. Now, they've never actually revealed any information really about the origins of whoever that was that became Scuttlebutt. So that would be interesting.
You're saying,
what's up, Liz?
Hi, Liz. You're saying that there was no equine DNA at all?
Well, no, when his people created,
it looks like a horse.
Well, yeah. It wasn't a horse, but the body, the cyborg body that they made for him, was they had taken this like monstrous creature, this fierce monstrous creature from their world, and kind of genetically converted that into a humanoid body and enhanced it with cybernetics, and then put the soul of the Corbinite that they chose into it, and that's who became Beta Ray Bill.
So it's his, for want of a better term, ghost in a shell.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so through a misunderstanding in his first appearance, Beta Ray Bill encounters and battles Thor, and during their battle, and this part, as everything's happening in that first story, everything is leading you to believe that Beta Ray Bill is a bad guy, and then all of a sudden, he picks up Mjolnir, and remember in Marvel Comics, this was before they found a reason to write that everybody could lift it for, oh yeah, Superman and Captain America and this person and that person. Like he was the first person. What?
Puck.
Yeah, what's up, Boo?
The hammer's bigger than him.
Like he was like the first one other than like Thor and Odin to lift it. So
right.
Transport yourself back to 1983 and you're reading that and Thor's fighting this monstrous looking character you think is a bad guy who all of a sudden lifts Mjolnir and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Bill and Thor are then transported by Odin, or Bill is transported by Odin to Asgard because there's a fight that he needs him for, and he doesn't know that it's not Thor. He just kind of homes in on the hammer, and when he gets him there, he's like, well, you're not my son. So then he transports Thor there too, and he sees that Bill has the hammer, and Bill doesn't want to give it up because to him, this is a weapon he can use that's given him all this extra incredible power that he can use to help his people. Because everything with him is about helping his people and helping them find a home. So Odin decides to pit Bill and Thor against each other in a battle to the death, and whoever wins will get to wield Mjolnir. Bill ends up winning, but at the last minute, he saves Thor because he doesn't want to kill him because, at this point, he realized Thor is not, they've realized they're not the enemy. So he doesn't want to kill him just to get the hammer. So Odin sees, all right, this guy is a noble person. So he has the, I forget what the
dwarves of Nevelier.
I was trying to remember the specific one's name. It's the one that they got Peter Dinklage to play in the movie. Anyways, they get him to craft. Yeah, that's it. Which was a mistake too, because they should have gotten Peter Dinklage to play. They should have gotten him to play Pip, but whatever. That's enough. So they get him to craft him a new hammer, Stormbreaker, that allows him to have all the powers that Thor has, and it has all the powers that Mjolnir has. And then Odin transferred the enchantment from Mjolnir to Stormbreaker so that whenever Bill hits it on the ground, it transforms into a cane, and it transforms his body back into his original Corbinite body, because when he first appeared, he was very depressed and would talk about how he was so monstrous looking that even though he was totally dedicated to saving his people and protecting them, they couldn't even bear to look at him because of how monstrous his form was.
Very, very tragic.
Yes. And since then, he has become a stalwart cosmic comic protector, has appeared in Thor as well as a bunch of other comics a lot, and has had his own various miniseries and one-shots. As far as powers, he has superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, and an extended lifespan. And that's everything he has in his cybernetic body before you add in the power of Stormbreaker that then juices him up to essentially Thor levels. And that hammer possesses all the same powers that Mjolnir has.
He's also an Olympic level oat eater.
Soup will always be number one.
Ow, Booge.
Oh, ouch, Booge. That's harsh. That's harsh.
That's all right, Booge.
Oh, man. All right, very cool. Great intro, man. Since this was your character's pick, Dan, do you want to go first on giving us what works best for him?
Sure. I like, obviously, when he is protecting his people. Now, they've had a rough time of it, as but when we meet him, their world and their galaxy has already been destroyed, and they're trying to find a new home. And then they find a new home, and that's destroyed. and then they go find another new home, and then Galactus comes and eats that,
Yep.
and then his people, by Galactus and Galactus Herald, his people are essentially wiped out. There's very few of them left. There's more Kryptonians running around than there are Corbinites at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I like that, when he was able to do that. And of course, when he's working or doing stuff alongside Thor and the Asgardians, it's always cool, the interaction with him and Thor, because they truly think of each other as brothers, and they call each other brother, and call each other like Oath Brother. So I like that. And I like that, he's just such a noble character, and he's always willing to put everyone else above him, as I'll get to in some of my badass moments. But just him going out there and fighting for the innocent, fighting for the downtrodden. And I don't like him, I know he's been on teams. I don't like him so much on a team. It's one thing if he teams up temporarily with a bunch of characters, that's fine. But as far as him being a permanent member on a team, I don't think, he's a character that works as well in a large group. Maybe a small group of him and a couple others, but not like a big organized team.
Okay. All right, cool. I will go next then, and I gotta echo some of the stuff that you were saying. I like the duty, the honor, and the nobility that he has or portrays. I think that's really good. Duty. I said duty. I like him best as a cosmic type of protector, because that's where I feel he fits best. The worthiness angle, that's all sorts of credibility right there. And like you said, Dan, in the intro, I think that was the first time someone else actually picked up Mjolnir in the comic besides Thor. And
Thor and Odin, yeah.
Or Thor and Odin, right. And so, so right there, the credibility alone right there is what really works good for him. But some of his best stuff is when he has emotional conflict, his insecurity, or his identity crisis, even with himself. I think some of that has been really stuff that really works well for him, and that's of course a tribute to Walt Simonson for the writing on that. So that's what I really like best. How about you, Chris? I know you don't like him, but what worked for you?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that I don't like him as much as I don't like Mr. Freeze, for instance.
Okay.
I'm just not a huge fan. I was reading comics when he hit, and I didn't get it, and I was pretty young, and I wasn't a fan of the character, on his face. But since getting older and learning to appreciate the character for what it is, and you hit the nail on the head. I like his nobility.
Yes.
That's something that's very respectable about the character. I like him when he's with a small team, like Dan said. I like him when he's with a small team of like-minded and like-powered cosmic beings.
Yeah.
It always works best, be it the Annihilators, be it Thor Corps. What was that other team he was on that I mentioned in here? In my must-reads, it was Star Masters, which is actually not a bad storyline, and it's not a well-known storyline either. In the 90s. I always like him on a small team. I just do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On, because the personalities of the characters on these teams is such that just a small team will take up enough, writing team.
Good old Throg.
One too.
Good old Throg.
I got to agree with you on that. I like him if he like you said, Dan. If he teams up with somebody, that's great, but not as a part of a larger team.
Yeah, he's not good in a big team like the Avengers. I think he gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, probably so.
Unfortunately, and a lot of the big guys do. A lot of the muscle guys do.
Yeah.
I mean, even when he was in that that Donny Cates' Guardians of the Galaxy run. Like, he didn't have. I didn't read the whole. I think the run ran 12 issues. I read the first 6, and I just kind of stopped there because I was reading it because Better Ray Bill was in it, and I was like, he's not really doing much. Like, he's there, and every once in a while they have him show up and like be intimidating, but they're not giving him very many good character moments. So like, there was one great moment where, they decide that, the team decides they're basically going to mutiny against Peter Quill and take the ship so they can go rescue Gamora. And when Quill comes on the deck, and I forget which character it was telling him, you got to get out of here. We're taking over the ship. Groot's the captain now, and if you don't leave, we're going to have his first mate. We're going to have his first mate or co-captain, whatever it was, remove you. He goes, oh yeah, who's that? In the next panel, you just see Better Ray Bill beside him. Of course, Quill's head comes up to like here on Bill, and you just see him standing there. Then Quill looks at him and goes, yeah, okay, I'll go, and then just leaves because he's like, I don't want any of that.
I don't want any of that.
But I think that is a problem, and we'll go over this when we talk about what we don't like about the character. But that's a problem with a lot of the cosmic characters, is that they're so OP'd sometimes that people just don't know how to write them.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
Kind of get lost in the shuffle.
I agree with that. All right, we'll get the stuff that we don't like, but first we're going to go over our badass moments. Dan, kick us off. What you got for badass moments?
Actually, I'll let you guys go first because I had a few. So
all right, I will go
first.
If
any that you don't cover, I'll do those.
I like the low hanging fruit. I'm going to go with the Thor 3037, picking up Mjolnir on his own right there, proving that he was worthy. That was just on its own a badass moment. And then, of course, Odin himself recognizing that as a sign of credibility and making him Stormbreaker, pretty badass. I love that. And of course, that was my second one. Where in issue number 339, Odin creates the Stormbreaker for him, and that's just, it's the respect that he earned by getting that weapon. It's just awesome. And then for my last one, I have Bill versus a nullified Fing Fang Fung. In where was that? Beta Ray Bill from 2021, issue number 1. The opening scene, he is fighting a nullified Fing Fang Fung, and that is just amazing right there. You have to see that.
Wait, what did you say the character's name is?
Fing Fang Foom. Fing Fang Foom. I can't talk tonight. Fing Fang.
I feel like he said fee fi fo fum.
I think I think that's where that's where my head was going. To tell you the truth. Fing Fang Boom.
There we go.
Okay. But yeah, that opening splash page on that number first issue, badass.
Yeah, it takes quite a pair of cojones to go up against Fing Fang.
Oh, was that
a nullified one? So he's got got the symbiote action going on.
Wow.
So, all right, Chris, how about you?
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm going to go back to the well for the easy one again and say just the fact that he lifted Mjolnir. And
it's a badass moment.
His first appearance is like I guess has to be the ultimate badass moment for almost any character.
Yes.
And he doesn't just do it once, but he does it multiple times, and he proves, and it not only that, but beats Thor.
Right, beats Thor in the fight.
In hand-to-hand combat, which is pretty darn impressive. That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
In Secret Invasion Aftermath, Beta Ray Bill. I
forgot about that one.
The Green of Eden.
Yeah.
Bill saves a bunch of space monks.
Space monks?
From a bunch of who were once god killers, which were, Skrulls. From a bunch of other god killers. They had split off and become this group of monks that was trying to, find some sort of religion in the universe instead of going out there and killing a bunch of people Well, Beta Ray Bill, the God Killers sick their Super Skrull on him, and Beta Ray Bill, fights and of course defeats him. And these monks make him into a deity, and they worship Beta Ray Bill. He is their god. He is the guy that they pray to. And as far as I know, that's still canon.
I think so.
And in the Unworthy Thor, Bill actually showed Thor how to become worthy again, and helped him along in his quest. And I think that's pretty amazing.
I'd buy that for $1. I did not realize that one, Chris. I didn't read that one.
Where's that from again? Unworthy Thor. It's a 5-issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was by Jason Aaron.
Okay, I know. I don't think I've read it.
Artwork.
Yeah, Coipel. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. The image that's right behind us is that's where I got it from.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
Yeah. But he has, as much as I am not a huge fan, it's not that I dislike him. I just am not excited when I see him.
So I'll put it up. So on top
of he has had a lot of really badass moments. That is cool. That's pretty.
That is cool looking though.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Are you ready to summon the thunder? That's badass.
I say that to Kelly when I go to the bed. When she's laying in bed, and I get out of the shower and walk in the bedroom and throw that towel off.
I'm ready to summon the thunder.
I say, "Are you ready to summon the thunder?" And she says, "Get out of here."
Not tonight.
And then he farts.
Clapping them cheeks in a different way.
All right, Dan, what do you got?
I also had 337 where he proved. I mean, how can you not? It's such a great first appearance. And again, this was before, and not saying that like Superman or Captain America are not worthy of lifting Mjolnir, but 1983, when did Thor first appear? What, 20 years before that?
Yeah.
And in this 20-year span, the only people who ever lift Mjolnir are like Thor and his dad.
Oh, so it was completely unheard of. It was completely unheard of when he did it.
Yeah. So just that is badass.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, that whole storyline. And then 338, he beats Thor. So he's like, I'm going to get this hammer and be able to save my people. And then I can't kill him. And then saves him.
Right.
Just the level of integrity that he has. Yeah, that's an awesome drawing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too of at the end of, it was an Unworthy Thor issue. I want to say it was the end of issue 2, then like the beginning of issue 3, when he goes and finds. You never heard of Beta Ray Bill? Oh, such a cool character.
Really, Liz?
But,
that's surprising.
He goes and seeks out Thor and finds it. He's like, well, where's your hammer? Because he doesn't know about, how he's unworthy now and all this. And he just kneels down and offers Stormbreaker up and says, brother, take my hammer.
Yeah.
That's how the one issue ended. And then going into the next one, and he's like, no, you take it. Like, he's willing to give up his power. And again, the ability to change from this like monstrous form to his normal self. He's willing to give that up just to help his brother. And that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And
it says a lot about his character.
Yes.
Not about the character, but his character.
All right. Fair enough, Liz. In the God Hunter miniseries, this is when he is going out and trying to basically end Galactus, because Galactus destroyed his people's, I guess this would be their third homeworld, and essentially wiped them out through his actions. So Bill has decided, even though everyone's telling him not to, he's like, I'm ending this guy. And he knows that he doesn't have the power where he can fight Galactus directly. So he uses Scuttlebutt to see where Galactus is and plot his trajectory and what world he's going after. And Bill goes there before him and evacuates everyone off the world, whether they want to go or not. Evacuates everyone off of the world and then destroys it himself. So that by the time Galactus gets there, there's nothing for him to feed on. And then when Galactus goes for the next world, Bill charts the course and says, okay, this is where he's going. And he does that. And hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Hello. And he does that, and he does it world after world after world, staying ahead of Galactus until Galactus just kind of starts withering away because he doesn't have any energy because he hasn't fed. And Bill's I'm going to keep doing this until he's too weak, and then I'm going to kill him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And in the process of doing this, he becomes unworthy where he can't lift Stormbreaker anymore because he's so blinded by the revenge. Right. And then so in issue 3, he kind of is, he still doesn't, he realized the error of his ways where he is not like forgiving Galactus, but he, realizes, all right, this is not the way to go about it. And then he becomes worthy again where he's able to lift the hammer. And just the fact that he is able to make, to realize what he did and make that change, I thought was awesome. And then the last one I have is from the one-shot Annihilation. It's Annihilation Scourge, Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
He's fighting a dragon, and Lockjaw is another character that Beta Ray Bill has a very close bond with, and you see them team up a lot, which is always pretty cool. Beta Ray Bill has Lockjaw, this dragon that they're fighting, has Lockjaw teleport him inside of it, and then he bursts out of the dragon's chest to beat it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
And if you haven't read it, it's worth.
Anybody got a towel?
What?
Does anybody got a towel?
Yeah. If you haven't read it, it's worth finding just for that, that awesome panel alone. Of course, it's a big splash page too.
That's cool.
And that was the Annihilation Scourge, right? Scourge, right?
Yeah, the Annihilation Scourge. Better.
Yeah. Right. Yep. That was cool.
And then it led into like the end of this Annihilation.
There was it's a whole.
Yeah, it led into like the end of it, but when he appears in like the book that comes after it, that's like all the characters. Again, he just kind of gets lost in the sauce.
Yeah, lost in the sauce. All right, very cool. Let's go ahead then and move on to what we don't like. Dan, you want to go first on this, or you want us to go? You want to go last?
No, I'll go first. I just think he's kind of underutilized. He has had a few miniseries over the years and a few one-shots. They've, never given him a shot at an ongoing. And, it would be nice because I think he's a cool character where if they did it right, that he could have a pretty cool ongoing book. And, again, like I said before, I think it's a mistake to put him on teams. He, like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy, he's just, there's too many characters there, and he just kind of pushed aside. He kind of gets pushed aside, and it's like, all right, we need the big guy to come and be intimidating and say a badass line and shoot someone with lightning and punch them, and then he'll just kind of fade into the background for all of the actual character moments. Outside of his own series or when he's in Thor, he doesn't really get those character moments. He's just, all right, here's a big, powerful guy that everybody likes, and and he's here for that.
Okay, I'll go next, I guess. I have to say I agree with you a lot of that, and my point was I think the writers don't really know how to write him, and they kind of back him into a corner type situation. They don't know how to write him long term, I should say. To give him that like longevity of a series. So I think he's a pretty cool character. He does look a lot or very similar to Thor, so I don't know if people won't like him because he looks too much like Thor or he's in Thor's shadow, that type of thing. Oh, he's a copycat Thor, But that it just goes back around to how he's written, and I think if he's written correctly, he'll be a great character. If he's not written, at least a little bit off, then he becomes a one-dimensional character to me, and I don't like that. So you gotta lean into what this character was all about to make him work. He
has a lot of nobility to him, and
yeah, exactly. And
I think he's got more nobility to him than Thor does, because Thor can get into those gray areas.
Yeah,
like a bit more than Bill does.
Yeah, true, very true. So that's pretty much what I think. It boils around to who's writing him at the time and how he's portrayed, and I think that's what doesn't work for me.
Like in Unworthy Thor, when he sees he doesn't have the hammer anymore, he doesn't have Mjolnir anymore, and Bill says, "Brother, take my hammer." If the roles were reversed, do you think that Thor would say, "You don't have Stormbreaker anymore?
Yeah,
take my hammer"? In fact, Thor destroyed his goddamn hammer.
Yeah,
Thor doesn't have that maturity.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is funny because Thor's been alive thousands of years longer than Bill.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, Chris, how about you?
You guys hit the nail on the head for the most part. He gets lost in the background. Most big guys do.
Yeah.
And especially him. He's so specialized and in the shadow of the character that he is based on that I think their best move would probably be to redesign the character.
Yeah.
Not his bare bones, but just his look, to move him maybe further away from that look of Thor.
Right.
I don't know. I think that does hinder his growth as a character, because people see him, like you said, as a Thor copy. I did.
Right. Right. Now, it's not necessarily being bad to look similar to Thor, but not too much. Say, be enough of your own version of your character to say, oh, he's a little bit common with Thor, but he's not really Thor. That type of thing.
Yeah. I think that he's got enough awesomeness in the makeup that they could, the right writer, like if Johns were to come along and pick that character up, he's got enough roots there to pull that he could make him into a phenomenal character. But I just don't think Marvel cares enough about the character. A lot of it's Marvel's fault too. Yeah. They don't care enough about that character that you see him pop up that often, unless it's in a cosmic saga. He's got a niche, and he's kind of stuck in that niche because.
But when he's written well in that niche, it's good. At least he's a different color scheme. So true, Boosh. So true. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to our top covers. And where we go. Dan, I got yours here.
All right. See, all the way in the end, 337, his first appearance. I mean, that's just such an iconic cover. There's no background because you don't need one. You have this monstrous-looking creature on the cover, and it's his first appearance, so you have no idea who he is, and you're like, who is this? Why is he swinging Thor's hammer? He's destroying the logo, which
is awesome. I love that.
Which is, again, like, Gary talks about a lot, how cool it is when you see these covers where the character is like interacting with the logo.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a badass cover.
Yeah, whenever they mess with the trade dress, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Whenever it interrupts it or it destroys it, or
the middle one is a few issues later. Mighty Thor issue 350. Just seeing him and Thor rushing into battle like that together. That's such an awesome cover where you see them together, and the background where there's some detailing, but I like the background's all that the two shades of purple.
Right.
So
That's
it really
good.
makes them stand out. And then the last one is Beta Ray Bill issue 3. That's from his most recent miniseries from a couple years. I want to say about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the variant cover for it. And I mean, just that's just so awesome. Where the colors on it really make that cover. Where you see him coming forward, the hammer's back. He's getting ready to strike, which is funny because he didn't even have the hammer. This was after Thor had destroyed his hammer, so he doesn't even really have it in here. But yeah, Simonson had such a great run on Thor.
Yeah,
and but you see him back at ready to strike, and just all it's almost like a light hitting a prism, and all the light coming off of it, and it's just it's so well done. The pose is cool, but the colorist is the one that really made this cover pop.
Oh yeah, the backlighting on it's amazing. I mean, it's just phenomenally done.
Yeah, I'll design a Beta Ray Bill costume.
I love how it washes. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That last cover I actually had, it almost made it was on my short list, I should say. All right. All right. I guess I'll go next. And here we go. All right. So I'll admit I had 337 in there, but I saw you guys' covers. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw in 338 because this is pretty badass. They're fighting over the hammer. You see the enchantment on the actual hammer, but they both got hands on it, and they're still throwing down in the cover. Like you said before, no background because no background is needed. That's just pretty awesome.
Is this the one that you spent an hour trying to get out of the slab, and ultimately were not able to?
But I did eventually. But yes, eventually. You were right though. But I did get it out of the slab. I was successful. All right, so that middle one there, that's the Annihilation Scourge. Rebuild cool. Number 1. Yeah, that is pretty bad. That's pretty badass. That's another. No, it's not. It's Jose Maria Casanovas. Yeah, cover. So I thought that was pretty badass there. I like how, like you, Dan. He's in that striking pose. He's in the air. You got the lightning coming off of it, and behind the hammer is just an insane glow of lightning, And he's about to drop the hammer on somebody. Open up some major whoop ass, I think.
And that's the cover I used for the cover of the day today in the comic character of the day.
That's really cool.
I saw that. I was going to make a comment, but I let it go. But that's awesome.
He's actually really mad he can't get a pickle jar open.
He's about to smash the pickle jar.
He's about to smash the jar.
He's about to smash that jar. And then the last one, Stormbreaker, the Saga of Beta Ray Bill. This is also number 1 issue.
That one.
Yeah, this is pretty badass. Laura of Valari, and the artist was Andrea DeVito.
Well, see that. Yeah, now you know why Sal picked him. Just listen to the name.
Yes, Valari and DeVito. But again, you got the glowing hammer in the hand. You got the lightning going around him, and he's almost got that smile on his face, like he's ready to whoop some ass. So, love it.
Or eat some oats.
Or something. All right, Chris, where are your top covers? There they are. Boom.
There we go.
Yeah,
of course, of course I'm going to pick his first appearance. I mean, that is just like Dan said. I just love how it breaks awesome. It breaks the fourth wall. I mean, it's just coming right out at you.
It breaks every damn wall.
Yeah, it breaks all the walls. Yeah, the trade dress is all over the place. Of course, that's by Simonson. We all know that. The one on the left, I just love how that looks. That's also an homage to that to the rainbow.
The Silver Surfer one, yeah.
Yeah, the Silver Surfer with the rainbow bridge. I just love how that looks. That's by Andrea Di Vito and Laura Villari.
Yep. Same ones.
Same people. That's gorgeous.
Villari and DeVito.
I just think that's just gorgeous. And the one on the right, that is me before coffee. That's Ryan Stegman. That is brutal. That's metal.
It is. I saw that, Booge. I know you were talking about his mother was a mudder. His mother was a mudder? Loves the mud.
Loves the mud. There we go.
That cover, Chris, is pretty badass on the far right.
I do.
What issue number was that again? Do you remember what issue number that was? Or
I wrote it down somewhere.
It's an alternate cover, whichever one it is.
It is. I think it belonged to the Stormbreaker title. I think.
No, that's from the Daniel Warren Johnson series.
Oh, you're right. That's all right. You don't have to worry about it, Chris. It's all good.
Thank you.
All right. Before we jump to essential readings, Dan, do you want to talk about the giveaway?
Yes. So we have these 2 fantastic trade paperbacks provided to us from the amazing people over at Ghost Machine Comics. So we have Geiger Volume 1 that is autographed on the front page here by Jeff Johns. And we have Geiger Volume 2 autographed right on the cover by Jeff Johns. And we are going to be giving these away. And it's real easy to win them. All you have to do is be subscribed to the station and put either in the chat that's going on right now, or if you're watching this after it's not live anymore, if you're watching this on a repeat viewing, just put in the comments #Ghost Machine, and you will be entered. And at the end of the month, we're going to randomly pick one of those names, and that person will win these 2 awesome Jeff Johns signed Geiger trade paperbacks. And other than the fact that they're autographed by Jeff Johns, it's such an amazing read too. And
Codex gives away the swag that fans want.
Yes.
Say it like Arnold. Do it again.
Yeah. Do it now. Yeah, comment in there. Do #Ghost Machine.
Ghost Machine. Hey, do you mean this Saturday?
God damn it, go ahead and give these people.
You mean at the end of the month, right?
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
What did you say?
I said you said you're going to do the drawing at the end of the month, right? Does that mean this Saturday coming up? Or do you want to do it next Saturday? The first.
He's not going to be here Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already said that, Dick.
I know that. That's why I'm asking.
We're going to play a little game. It's called Who Was Your Daddy? And What Does He Do? And in the case of Sal's daddy, he gives away autographed Jeff Johns books.
That's not possible.
So, #Ghost Machine either in the live chat or in the comments. And make sure that you're subscribed, and you will have your chance to win those fabulous books.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
Hey, Sal, do you call him Papa?
No, I do not.
No?
I do not. Sorry. I do not.
No, usually I hear, but Dad! I say, shut up!
You're embarrassing me in public, Dad.
Okay. So let's go ahead and jump to essential readings. Dan, you are first.
All right.
Come on. There we go.
Well,
woohoo!
Got to start off with the first appearance of him. Thor 337 to 340. You see his introduction, and you find out who he is, and you get his backstory. You have all these awesome, badass moments, and culminates with him getting Stormbreaker and going off to fight for his people, and then Thor and Sif go with him, and that's the beginning of a kind of this relationship with him and Sif that's kind of ongoing over the years, which is also a pretty cool thing. And shortly, it doesn't happen in this storyline, but they do save his people in this. But shortly after this, it is revealed that the reason that he kind of got entangled with Thor to begin with was because this demon that was after his people had a similar energy signature to Thor, which is why Scuttlebutt in that issue 337 kind of attacks Thor. And in the storyline, like I said, it's not in these issues, but shortly afterwards, you find out the reason is because the demon that's after his people is Surtur. And he goes back and, he was a recurring character after his first appearance for a long time during Simonson's Thor run.
That's cool.
The second one, Stormbreaker, the Saga of Beta Ray Bill, is a 6-issue miniseries.
Papa Dump.
I don't dislike the taste of meatball subs. I just find them kind of unwieldy to eat.
You gotta cut the balls.
Stormbreaker, the Saga of Beta Ray Bill. It's a 6-issue miniseries. And yeah, this is the first time that he had his own, his own standalone series, and it's mostly him fighting Galactus and Galactus's herald at the time and trying to protect his people and all that. And there was actually a pretty badass moment where he chips Galactus's helmet, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he did this," and how dare you, and who has the power to do that? That's a great read. And then the final one on there, Beta Ray Bill, Argent Star. That's the 5-issue Beta Ray Bill miniseries that came out, like I said, about a year or two ago, about 2 years ago. That was written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. The name of the series was just Beta Ray Bill, but if you're looking to get the collected volume, it's called Beta Ray Bill Argent Star. This takes place during the Donny Cates run on Thor, so it takes place right after Thor has destroyed Stormbreaker, and Bill and Thor have mended their relationship, but he's still without Stormbreaker, so he kind of goes into that depression again because he doesn't have the ability to switch back to his normal self, so he's stuck in this form. And it's just, it's a really great book, and it delves a little more into his history of how he was chosen and how he became Beta Ray Bill, and it focuses a lot on him and on his ship Scuttlebutt.
He's just like saying Scuttlebutt.
Sounds like they did a lot of character growth in that.
They did.
Why, if I may ask, why did Thor break Stormbreaker?
So it was during the Cates run when they were introducing the what was it? It wasn't called Blackest Night, but it was like the big, darkness or whatever that had destroyed the universe Galactus was originally from, and then came into, our world.
Was that Black Vortex or
what?
Was that Black Vortex? Didn't it take place in a bunch of different series?
Yeah, it was.
And it kind of ended up.
Yeah, the Vortex.
Yeah, and he ended up like tying it into the Null stuff with Venom.
Okay.
But Thor, he comes to Thor and he's, saying, "Hey, I can't." Galactus did. He's like, "I can't fight this on my own. This thing destroyed my universe. You have to come help." So Thor, and at this point, Odin's gone, so Thor is king of Asgard, and Thor agrees to essentially be Galactus's new herald. So Galactus gives him the power cosmic. So he's already got his Thor power, and he's already got the Odin force that he got from, taking over from Odin and being the king of Asgard. And now he has the power cosmic on top of it. Well, Bill hears that Thor is, essentially kind of helping Galactus now, and he shows up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Don't you know what he did to my people? He's, he killed them all."
Oh.
And they get into a fight, and Thor's telling, basically, "You don't know what's going on," and they end up like kind of switching hammers during the fight. And Thor, since he's so overpowered with all this extra stuff, is beating the brakes off Bill, who refuses to give up and Bill actually ends up getting a hold of Mjolnir, and Thor has Stormbreaker, and he hits Mjolnir with Stormbreaker and hits it so hard that it shatters Stormbreaker.
Wow.
It's an awesome. It really is. That Donny Cates run on Thor was such, especially early on, was such an amazing read.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. All right, then.
Now I want to read it.
I'll let you go next.
Oh, you should. It's so fantastic. Yeah, Argent Star. I mean, it was also too. They kind of. I don't know if he intended to it at first, but it ended up sort of leading into King in Black, though.
Okay.
Yeah, though they are still separate, but yeah, that Cates run there was awesome, and that Argent Star book, that was just really just Marvel giving Daniel Warren Johnson, be like, here's 5 issues, do what you want, and he went out and made something amazing.
Yep. All right, Chris, you can go next. There you
go. Of course, we've all mentioned 337 to 340.
Yeah.
I just want to say Walt Simonson was able to with Thor write these sweeping, epic Norse, operas that were just incredibly well done. And even though I'm not a huge fan of this character, the storyline itself is fantastic. The storyline is the star of that story. The fact that there was a character that was worthy enough to lift Mjolnir and was probably more worthy than Thor to wield it was a big deal. Star Masters, I don't know if a lot of people heard of that. 1 through 3, it's a pre-Annihilator story. It's similar to something that you would see during the Annihilation years.
You're right. They should give the writers more freedom.
Yeah. It had Quasar, Silver Surfer, Beta Ray Bill, Morphex, and Zenith, who were new to the series. But it was about there's a group, and I hesitate to use the word Federation, but there's a group called the Charter, which is like the Federation, like Starfleet. In Marvel Comics, or there was. I don't know if it's still canon to this day. I don't really keep up with what's currently canon. And Quasar was supposed to meet with this charter ship, and everyone on board was slaughtered, and he was blamed for it. And all, Quasar, Silver Surfer, Beta Ray Bill, Mofex, and Zenith kind of form a team to prove his innocence. And it's a really, really cool story, and it's really neat to see those characters interact, some of them for the first time.
You talk about an overpowered group.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
And then I've got Annihilators, Volume 1 through 4 by Ed Lanning, and the art was Tang Eng Huat. Is that how you pronounce his name? I am not sure. But that was you got the Annihilators there: Silver Surfer, Beta Ray Bill, Ronin, Gladiator, Quasar, and Icon, who are two Space Knight, or Icon, I believe, is a Space Knight, isn't?
Yes, I believe he was.
And it was a really cool storyline. I loved that Marvel really hadn't done anything with the Dire Wraths in a long time, or the Space Knights, until Annihilation and the Annihilator storylines that they did, back to back to back.
Right.
And it was really cool to see them do something with those characters, which they really. They have a hard time using characters like this because they're from a licensed property. Rom was a licensed character. Everything they made after that belonged to Marvel. well, then Marvel's got to find a way to use those characters. They were able to use them, I think, very successfully uh, in the I believe it was the late '80s in the X-Men and the Dire Wraths anyway. And then you really haven't heard anything from them until recently, or until um, the Annihilation and the Annihilators storylines that were going on, which I thought it was a real cool look back at them, and Dr. Dread, who was a new villain, who was working with, who was created by Admiral Lanning and who's working with the Dire Wraiths.
Dr. Dread.
Yeah.
Where is he from? South Detroit?
I believe it. No, that's. Is he? Is it South Detroit?
Just joking.
He's talking about Dr. Dre.
It's Dr. Dre.
Oh.
Just like I like how every villain has a doctorate degree.
I thought you were talking about Dr. Detroit.
Yeah, well, he does too.
But that's that. But those are all good. If anyone reads any of the Annihilation storylines, they're all good.
Right.
Pick them up. And the nice thing about the Annihilators 4-issue is I believe it has a Groot and Rocket Raccoon backup storyline in it.
Okay.
Nice.
Which is always fun.
All right. So let's jump to my readings here. All right. So we've done the Thor, 337, 340. Not going to talk about that anymore. The Annihilation Scourge, number 1. This is a one-shot, and it's like a modern age version of Beta Ray Bill, which is good. I liked it. It was, had that Marvel cosmic chaos type of situation to it, and it kind of reminds you how well he works on the cosmic scale, and it's not the defining Bill story, I think, but it's still a solid showcase for him, and it gives a lot of stuff with the Annihilation story as well. It's almost what I was feeling like when I read it. It was like a horror tinged type of cosmic disaster, and had that last warrior standing type of feeling to me. So definitely a good pickup. It's a one shot, easy to read. Boom, you're done. Bob's your uncle. Good story. The Stormbreaker saga, Beta Ray Bill 1 through 6. Dan talked about this too. I think this one is probably the best solo spotlight in the that he's had in probably almost all of his stuff. That it just leads into a status of the wandering cosmic hero or champion, I should say, and you get the real feel for the connection to his people and the burden of being their protector and that type of situation. And I like it because he's not a supporting character. This is his story, and there's no Thor to be in the shadow of. You know what I'm saying with that? So you get a lot of the Tragic Knight space energy from this book, from this story. So that's why I liked it, and that's what I've got.
I think I have to read that.
Yeah, it was good. Let me see. Here we are. All right.
I'll say the one that my favorite of them all is that last one, the Argent Star, the Daniel Warren Johnson one. It's so cool. Good. Well, and it's also because he wrote it and he drew it, so he nice. Had total control over it. And,
right.
I mean, and Daniel Warren Johnson's one of those guys that's not really going to do what you expect. Even when they just launched that new Transformers book and he was the writer on it, he was the artist for the first few issues, and then he wrote the first 2 years of it. Yeah. It was awesome. And, you saw so many cool moments in it that you just don't expect, or that were just, at one point when Optimus loses his right arm, and he puts Megatron's right arm on that's got the cannon. It's like, that's badass.
Yeah.
Or there's cool. Like the first or second issue, there's one scene where it's like getting ready to be a big battle, and the character's going like this, and then you just see the thing written on the page that says, the song. And every Transformers fan reading that immediately heard Stan Bush in their head.
Yep.
You have to touch, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool."
I like how he had Megatron's arm. There was no
awesome.
There was no software issue with that.
No. Like, and you know who saw that early on in that run that he's gonna like take Bumblebee, who since those recent movies has kind of become one of the most popular Transformers. Are like, yep, he dead.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna brutally kill him.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and jump to our best writer and artist. Dan, who do you got?
I'm gonna put 2 for writer. I'm gonna put, of course, his creator, Walt Simonson. He created the character, and then I think used him more than any other writer because he had him showing up so frequently in Thor for a long time. But I'll also say Jason Aaron too for what he did with him in Unworthy Thor, and then in the Thor book too, is someone that really got the character. And for artists, I'm going to say Sal's brother from the motherland, Andre DeVito, who did the Stormbreaker miniseries.
Yes, that's good stuff. Yep, me too, Booge. I really do dig his art. So for me, I had to go with the best writer as Walt Simonson again. Can't go wrong with that. Best artist, I did go with Daniel Warren Johnson, but I also had a Walt Simonson honorary mention in that because I just felt like he did an amazing job with that. I like it when the author and artist are the same person, because I feel like you said, Dan had total control over the book, how it's written, how it feels, how it looks. I like that, and it just makes the book a lot better. But all right, Chris, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Simonson for both. I'm old school.
Yeah,
that's what I was introduced to first, and it's what I mean.
Nothing wrong with that.
I like it. It's awesome, and it's classic.
Yeah,
it's something that I have read and I will reread. I will go back to that.
Right.
I'm always finding in Simonson's art. I'm always finding something new.
That's true. That's good stuff. All right, so I got one question for you guys, and I think Dan probably knows the answer to this. Is he anywhere in a current series?
I don't really read that many current Marvel series. He's not in any of the ones that I read.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I think he was in was when they did the big Doctor Doom story that they just finished up as they're going into the next big Doctor Doom story essentially.
Yeah.
But didn't he do something where he kind of erased Thor and then like Beta Ray Bill took Thor's place kind of through Marvel history and he got Stormbreaker back?
Okay.
I know they did something like that with him, but since then I haven't been reading the current Thor book because I just the series before it, the Immortal Thor, I just ended up dropping it after a year or two because I just about a year and a half because I just didn't really like it. I didn't think it was that good. If there was any book he was appearing in, I would assume it would be that, or they're doing that one like Galactic miniseries that was supposed to be an ongoing and then got changed to a miniseries like before it launched. So he might be in that. I'm not sure.
Anything on the cosmic scale, I would expect him to show up in, but who knows?
Marvel has so many, and DC has this problem too. They have so many characters that even ones that are that would be awesome, in the series, they don't use. They just let them float out there. Look how long DC went without a Justice Society story.
Yeah.
The first superhero group that ever existed.
Yeah, thanks.
They didn't have a book. What are you doing?
Very true.
Or when Marvel didn't have FF. What are you doing? What's going on? Why?
Yep. All right, I guess
with Marvel, you know the reason. It was because of their pettiness, because they didn't have the movie rights.
Yeah, and that is the most ridiculously petty thing I've ever heard of.
Just like how Marvel told the X-Men creators that they weren't allowed to create any new mutants or any new X-Men related characters, because if they did, then Fox would have the movie rights to them. So they were like, you can't create any new characters. That's why they switched Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch to no longer being mutants and no longer being Magneto's kids. Yeah. That's why, I guess Miss Marvel was originally intended to be a mutant, but they made her an Inhuman instead because, again, we're not creating any characters that Fox will have the rights to. It's just
sounds to me like a bad contract negotiation.
It's pettiness, and now they own Fox and they have all those characters back, but they haven't done anything to fix Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch stuff.
Yeah, they always should have, but they never should have changed that.
No, they shouldn't have.
I mean, the amount of lore that they built on them being Magneto's kids was
I agree.
Was volumes. That's true.
Yeah,
I'd say that I'd say to an extent, because fans have a lot of stupid fucking ideas. We need to do this. We need to do that. I hate the thing when somebody sees something like a series or a movie, like nobody asked for this. Like nobody asked for Superman the movie. Nobody asked for Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for Jon Favreau to make Iron Man direct Iron Man starring Robert Downey Jr. But guess what? We got it, and it's fantastic. And then you go to the comics, series after series,
people shit all over it before it's even come out.
Nobody asked Walt Simonson to go in Thor and create this monstrous horse face looking character and put him on the cover and say, yeah, this alien is worthy of Mjolnir. But we got a badass, I hate...
You know what no one asked for real? Superman 4, A Quest for Peace. No one asked for that film. No one. Not even John Cryer.
I remember that. That was a horrible movie. Horrible.
Just so bad.
You could do an entire episode just on why that movie turned out the way it did.
Wait a while, I'll lose membership. Come on.
I mean, you're right. I mean, it should have worked, but
there's so much stuff, all because of Canon Films. They took they took some of the budget for that and used it to make other movies. So then they didn't have the budget for it. After they filmed it, they cut like all these scenes out of it that made the movie not make any sense because you needed these scenes to set up stuff that happens. It's such a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a bad movie.
Yeah. I agree. They should put me in charge for a day.
I wouldn't want to be in charge of that mess.
No. We need some hip waders.
I would do a Final Crisis event. I mean, like a Final Crisis event for DC, and then that's it. Everything else from here on out is your imagination.
Close up shop. All right, folks. I think we can go ahead and wrap this one up and put it to bed.
Can I show something really quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dan's not going to be here Saturday, and I really sincerely wanted to thank him from the bottom of my heart for this incredible book that he sent me.
Okay.
That really helps me round out my Brave and the Bold series. It is a fantastic book, and I just started reading it. It's a lot of fun. These old books. This is from '64, and you see how pretty it is.
Yeah.
But this is issue number 56, so this is early in the run that I need. So
nice.
Well, that's why that episode I asked you when you were showing them all off. I was like, which issues do you still need? And I was sitting there writing them down like, all right, let's see which one I can find that I can get a good copy of.
That's pretty. I really like that. Thank you, Dan. That means a lot to me.
You're welcome.
I'll be showing it again on Saturday.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, then, folks. don't forget to check us out Saturday night for Comics Unleashed. We're going to show off our pools. Uncle Gary is out. Dan will be out. So it'll be Chris and then guest starring Liz from Loco Sirens will be joining us that night.
Awesome.
So, all right. So that would be cool. All right, then. Then we will see you guys next week for Comic Creator of the Week, which will be covering George Perez, if I remember right.
Yes.
The myth, the legend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, folks. Take care. We'll see you guys next week.